I took a couple of snorts of Nasonex this morning, which works really good for me because it works right away, it seems, and it like lasts all day.
I used to take Nasonex. I just remember they had a very strange 3D animated bee as their mascot. It was very weird. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's very creepy. Was he French? I feel like he was French. Oh, I'm the Nasonex bee.
That's what I was just going to do that. I was just going to do that.
Of course you are going to do it after me.
Remember we went for auditions for that show. We had to sing, and you know the director's there, and somebody's at the piano. I had to sing a few things.
Yeah.
And they consulted with each other, and he says, "Can you do a French accent?" And I went, and I said, "Oh my God,
you're bad at accents."
I said, yeah, I'm pretty bad.
Yeah, you're pretty bad at accents.
So I went, "Oh, can I do a French accent?" And he went, "You're in."
Yeah.
And then I never had to do it again.
Well, I got to tell you, I think that's part of it. Is just like, are you willing to do something or not?
I think
that's part of it.
I think he had a different role in mind for me at the time.
Yeah, you're right, probably.
Yeah, and then it changed.
Right. But at the same time, it is something as simple as, are you willing to do something funny? Are you willing to be a presence on stage or not? And if you're not, you can't act, you can't do it.
I didn't have a name in the show. I was just like Man One.
Yeah, right.
Or something like that.
Right.
And I thought I was like a townsperson.
Yeah.
And he says, "No, you're a pirate." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm a townsperson." This was in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And he came in making sure everybody was getting...
This was like showtime, right?
Yeah, this is like showtime.
Like we've done all the rehearsals, months of rehearsals, whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, I said, "Well, I'm a townsperson." I forget how it came up in the conversation. And he said, "No, you're a pirate." And I said, "I'm a pirate.
Yeah.
I'm not on a boat. I'm not chasing anybody."
But you had a tri-corner hat.
I know, but
and you had, at the time, you had long black hair.
Right. And I had an earring.
And you had an earring.
And then you said, "I'm a pirate."
And you had a ruffly shirt.
I did, but I thought that's how townspeople dress. I look like Aaron Burr.
Yeah, like a colonist or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But the backstory of that is that because of how you looked, everybody was calling you a pirate.
Yeah.
And you were denying pirate allegations for months leading up to it.
Right.
And then the director was like, "Oh yeah, you're a pirate."
Yeah, he never told me I was.
Man. Well, you weren't until you looked like one.
But I'm a pirate living in a town.
But you had long black hair, and so when you weren't dressed as a pirate, you literally did look. You had a tri-cornered hat, ruffly shirt, all that. You did have long hair,
right?
And you got called Ozzy a lot.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, Ozzy just passed away.
Right.
And it's weird to me that he's dead. Because I know it must be even weirder for you.
It is. Yeah, it's weird.
But unlike other rock stars, by the way, he was still such a presence in the 2000s.
He was.
You know, because he had the show.
He had the show, right.
And people were still making Ozzy jokes. He was very much known. He was in the lexicon as Ozzy. It's Ozzy. Everybody knows Ozzy.
He was the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, sure. And you get called Ozzy, and my friends and people on the bus and at school, "Oh, your dad looks like Ozzy."
Yeah.
And you didn't accept. I mean, you just basically you had long black hair.
And I wore sunglasses, but not like his.
No, not like his at all. But
no.
It didn't matter because
remember one time we're on
Cape Cod. Nobody else looks like that at
right,
the time.
But one time we were in New York.
Yeah.
We were waiting for a train. We were on the Long Island Railroad waiting for a train. Do you remember?
Yes.
And we were just standing there waiting for the train, and there was this guy on a cell phone, typical New York guy. He's like, yeah, that's right, and he's talking loud, on his cell phone, and then he looks over, he goes, "Hey, we got Ozzy over here. Ozzy's here. Ozzy's on the platform. He's waiting for the train."
Yeah, but he just kept talking. He didn't care.
Nah, New Yorkers don't care. Even if he thought I was Ozzy, it was like...
You still didn't care.
Yeah. Nah, he didn't care. New Yorkers don't care about that kind of stuff.
But it's just so weird because he had his last concert and I saw clips of it. I didn't see it at the time. I really wasn't paying close attention to it.
Right.
Because it's almost painful to see him so... I don't want to say almost debilitated, but he's trying to sing, and of course he doesn't have his full voice, and he can't stand up, and all that. It was like, oh man! But I had no idea that he was this close.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did they know? Do you think they knew that he'd be gone in a matter of weeks when he was doing the concert?
They might have.
They might have known.
The family, you mean?
They might have known.
Yeah.
It makes it quite a legendary departure, I suppose.
I guess.
Yeah.
I
mean, David Bowie had one too. Remember, his was crazy.
Because he put out that record.
And Black Star, was that the name of it? Something like that.
So weird.
And he had that music video.
Yeah.
Where he looked almost tortured in it.
Yeah.
And then he's gone. It was like, what?
What happened?
What? It's like I don't even know if the full album had come out yet. Yeah. It's like the full album hadn't even come out yet. And it's like, oh yeah, he died.
The thing that's curious though is for me is, you know, having grown up with Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne and everything, is the treatment that he's getting in the media right now. Because when I grew up and the Black Sabbath, it's Satanism and it's about the, you know, he's the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, he's evil.
He's evil.
Right.
You know, and you know, reading the words to the songs and everything, I said, I don't think he's really evil. It doesn't sound like it. You know, he became very humanized during that show that he did. Home with the Osbournes or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And you saw him, he's like, you know, he's just this, you know, you just kind of felt sorry for him a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Well, at that point, obviously, life had taken quite a toll on him too.
A lot of drugs.
He was obviously a tortured
in and out
individual.
Of drugs, in and out of rehab, yeah.
Which you could tell from the songs.
Right.
He was, right.
Of course. But I remember, you know, reading, there was this one, I don't remember the name of the song or something, but he's talking about, you know, I've seen the truth, I've seen the light, I've changed my ways.
Okay.
You know, and I'll be prepared when you're lonely and scared at the end of our days. And it's like, wow, I said, he sounds like he's becoming a born-again Christian or something. You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but he basically brought evil to the forefront without, you know.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, you know, the whole Black Sabbath thing. I remember the first time I heard Black Sabbath, it was in the early 70s. The record Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath was out. And
scary album cover, by the way.
Yeah, well, I hadn't heard it before, but everybody said, you got to get this record. You got to get this record.
Yeah.
I went out and I bought the record. And I went over to my friend's house.
How old were you?
I wasn't that old. I was a very young teenager. I was probably maybe 13.
Okay.
Something like that. And I was, you know, I was listening to music like old kids were, the Beatles, the Stones, you know, we loved all that stuff. And I went out and bought this record. I wasn't like into heavy metal or anything like that. And so I bought the record. I was with my friend, who he's the guy that said, oh, you got to get this record. Soot was his name. S-O-O-T. So
great.
That was his name.
That's his birth name. That's what his mom called him.
No, she called him Ralph.
Okay.
That was his real name.
Yeah.
But we had weird names for kids in the Bronx. I had a friend called Fungus, and that just became their names.
All right.
Anyway, so we went over, so I bought the record and went over to his house, and it was probably the second time I ever smoked pot.
Oh, okay.
He had some. I wasn't in the habit of doing it, but I was, you know, influenced, you know, that sort of.
Sure.
And, you know, smoked a little joint in his home. His mother worked, so we went to his house, and she had this big giant, you know, one of those big giant stereo systems that people had in their living rooms at that time, like with a TV and a record player in it, big giant piece of furniture. And I remember I looked at the record cover and I was like, wow, this is like kind of weird. This is really kind of spooky looking.
It is.
Opened up the record, put it on, and we were like a little high at the time. And we sat there, we listened to it, we just sat there in the living room and we put it on and we started playing the first cut on the album. And it's like weather, you know, you hear rain and thunder, like you can like feel lightning and then boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And I'm looking at the record. I was holding the record cover, looking at it, and then he starts singing. What is this? Which it goes on, and we both looked at each other. We got scared. We turned it off.
Yeah.
We just because I used to get paranoid when I got high on pot.
Okay.
Back at that time, at any time. That's why I gave it up. And it was like we got so scared we turned it off and we left the house. We couldn't stay in the house. We never got past the first cut.
Yeah.
Then I listened to it later, you know, and kind of fell in love with it. I was a music abuser back then. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't anymore, but at that time I became a heavy metal abuser, you know.
Yeah. Not much is scarier than, and that's Black Sabbath by Blac Sabbath, right? That's the song.
Yeah.
Not much is scarier than that, especially because of how subtle it is. Well, subtle compared to how strong everything is now, how heavy metal is. It's like it just like subtly takes you in, almost like a horror movie. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know what to expect. There's a lot of there's so much suspense building up too. Right. Yeah, but even after that, I mean, when he was out of Black Sabbath, he still made songs that were good.
Oh yeah,
the songs were still good.
Yeah, they were still good.
I don't know the last album he technically put out. There was Black Rain was one of them.
I don't even remember.
I don't know that one. Obviously, what's the one? Oh, I can't think of the name of it now. What's the album? There's No More Tears.
No More Tears.
No More Tears. That's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right, and I think that's the 80s maybe. I'm not
100%
sure.
Yeah. No, actually, I think that might be early 90s.
Really? But even into 90s and 2000s, he was still making really good stuff.
It's funny, the guitar player for his band, Zakk Wylde.
Zakk Wylde.
Yeah. Now, isn't he like a born again Christian, like super heavy
He's very
duty?
Christian.
I don't know. He might even be Catholic. I'm not sure.
I don't think he's Catholic.
I remember seeing getting some Instagrams or something from him.
Yeah, he's always posting
a lot of religious symbolism.
Yep, and messages.
And a lot of Christ stuff, a lot of Jesus stuff, a lot of crosses, crucifixes, and things. So I think he's really, which is kind of so why would he be that and be hanging out with Ozzy?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, Alice Cooper's a born again Christian too, right? Basically,
I think he's born again. Yeah,
is he born again or just?
I don't know.
Christian.
He's Christian, maybe not.
He is but he's very Christian. I mean, his dad was a pastor too.
Was a preacher.
Right?
Yeah,
he was a preacher.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to change the topic a little bit, if you don't mind. We were talking about epigenetics.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how you can. You likened it to a dimmer for your DNA for your genetics.
Like an on-off switch with a dimmer.
It's like you can make some things more prevalent. You can activate some genes or deactivate some genes depending on your choices, depending on what you do, depending on what you've experienced. And I supposed, and I don't know, I probably heard this idea before. I had supposed that can you transfer that to your offspring? Like, can you activate something and then transfer that to your kids?
Oh, in other words, if it's activated, will it be activated in your...
Yeah. Can you actually change the types of kids you're having based on your experiences and your life choices? And you thought, no, the answer is yes.
Oh.
You'll actually have different kids depending on your own life.
That's interesting.
Like genetically different kids,
depending
on how you live your life.
That's what's wrong with you.
That's what's wrong with me. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's why I'm so annoying.
Oh, well.
No. So what it is of course you pass on things traditionally, which is that like I have your DNA, I have mom's DNA.
Right.
That's what I get. Right. That happens. Everybody knows that. But there's recessive genes and dominant genes. But there are also ways that things that happen in your life can actually make it into my own genes. Things that happen in your life that affect your genes reflect onto mine.
Yeah, it changes the sequencing, I believe.
Yeah, and we don't know 100%. Not sequencing. No, not sequencing.
Okay.
I'll explain.
Okay.
We don't know, although maybe that's true too, but that's not what I'm thinking of. So I can't confirm or deny that technically.
Okay. But the idea of your gene, okay, so your genes, the genes that are activated, let's say in a parent, let's say a father in my case, right? My DNA is not operating exactly the same way it was when I was born because my environment, my lifestyle, even diet and everything else will have flipped some switches or dimmed some switches in my DNA composite that will make me a little bit of a different person than the when I was born.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So
it affects like, which hormones get produced at what levels, things like that.
So if you're born at a time when I've set up this, I use the word sequence. I'm not a genealogist, so I don't know if that's correct or not. But what I set up in my own self, then I reproduce. You're born with the changes.
Yeah. So, in most cases, no, because what happens is it actually gets wiped 2 times in the process of reproduction. So So I won't go into like too many specifics, but usually all those changes, all those dimmers get reset. Okay. If that makes sense. So you have your DNA and that transfer, and those dimmers get reset. It's like, okay, you got it, blank slate, not literally blank slate, but new offspring, reset all those dimmers, start from scratch. That's kind of the idea. So you get the DNA transferred the way we know it, but you don't get the life experience changes. That's traditionally how it's viewed. However, some of those changes actually make it through and transfer to your offspring. So there was an experiment with rats where they found that they took a male rat and during its childhood, I guess, they separated it from its mom and they put it through stress that way.
Right.
And that rat actually produced offspring that were more stressed out than rats that weren't stressed out. Does that make sense?
Stressed out or just stressed?
Well, however you want to use it.
Could be a positive or a negative way.
However you more responsive to stress. So like they produced more it's not cortisol, but cortisol-like hormone, whatever rats have an equivalent to cortisol. It's not cortisol. Okay. So a stress hormone. They produced more stress hormone. Their offspring did. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and they measured this 3 generations down.
Right.
So they took the first rat, stressed him out. He had babies. Those rats had babies, and even those were still like more responsive to stress.
Wow. Based
on the stressed out rat. So you're creating neurotic rats. You're creating anxious rats with anxious experiences in a grandpa rat. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And they did it with fat rats too. They made the dad fat, and the fat rat produced more offspring with metabolic issues.
Wow.
Yeah, and then when that fat rat lost weight, went back to its regular diet, it produced regular offspring again.
That's crazy.
So, and that has to do with, it's not just the transfer of DNA. Some RNA gets transferred too, tRNA, it's type of thing. And how that's expressed is, and anyway, I can't get into the science of it, but it actually changes your offspring too.
Wow.
So we've done that with rats, and you can suppose it's anecdotal. Well, it is an experiment, but you can suppose that it's an analogy for humans. It's like, oh boy, if I'm fat having kids, I'm setting my kids up to be more likely to be fat than if I were skinny having kids, even though my DNA is the same. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
So I don't know.
I mean, it's not weird in a physiological sense. I mean, it makes sense, really.
I don't know if you were fatter or skinnier when you had me versus my sister, but you may have set one of us up for a different experience with food than the other based on how your weight was at the time. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah. I was about the time that I wasn't that healthy. I don't think when you were born, to be honest with you. Well, at that time I was still drinking alcohol.
Yep.
At that time.
Yep.
And I mean, I gave it up, but I gave it up about that time, but maybe too late. So how come you're not an alcoholic?
I've never had a sip of alcohol. That's why I'm not an alcoholic.
That's
maybe.
Right. So
I don't know.
You just blew the whole theory right there.
No, but I've never had a sip.
Oh, I see. So if you were to start drinking, you wouldn't be able to stop.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Well, maybe you should never have a sip.
Maybe. Well, like Donald Trump says, everybody's lucky he doesn't drink.
Yeah,
if he drank, he'd be the worst.
He'd be the worst drunk in the world.
He'd be the worst drunk ever.
Yeah,
probably true. Probably true.
Yeah. Yeah, they say that, that I don't want to get too explicit here, but if a woman has a lot of sex partners before she gets married and starts a family and all that stuff, that happens a lot. That happens.
Yeah.
That does happen. That the DNA from her partners gets transferred to the children, and she has that forever.
From the other partners?
From the other partners.
Gets transferred to the children of a different...
Well, she never loses
of a different partner.
She never... The DNA in her from her partners...
Yeah.
She never loses.
You mean it stays in her?
It stays in her.
Is that true?
That's what
because I have read that, but I've also read people saying it's not true.
Just like anything else.
Just like anything else, which makes it hard to figure out.
Hard to figure out,
right?
Yeah, we can plow through studies and see what's true. I'm not inclined to do that.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is true, just because so many crazy things are true.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's true to a degree, and they use the degree to which it's not true to say the whole thing's false. They do that too. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's false, and then it turns out, oh no, it was like 90% true, and you use that 10% embellishment to label the whole thing wrong. That happens too.
That's also, we're talking about physiology and biology being transferred, but that is there's something that goes before that, and that is the emotional state of the person too.
Right.
Because that affects it. So you can have a highly emotional, let's say a baby in the womb of a woman who happens to be highly emotional, gets upset a lot, maybe full of anger. A lot of that stuff gets transferred into the child. And you think, oh, it's some sort of dark energy, some metaphysical thing. Yeah, you can say that, but it seems, if that's true, that would be the physical manifestation of that. In other words, it's symptomatic of what's going on.
Well, if the baby's already in the womb, I mean, could be the hormones the baby's getting. All that stuff is going to be different depending on how the woman is, right?
Right.
I mean, is that baby getting cortisol from the woman if she's stressed out and she's anxious and stuff? I don't know. I don't know how that works. And that would be, I guess that would be technically nurture, not nature. Nature is like just genes. Nurture is like how the baby's actually treated, what it goes through. And as far as in the womb, I think that would be nurture. But like I'm saying with the epigenetics, even if the baby was taken out of the womb and put into a synthetic womb or whatever they use now. I don't even know if they have that ability.
Where is this going
I'm sure they're going to have it soon.
It's probably going on already.
It's probably going on already somewhere in the world. Compared to another baby with different genes from a mother who wasn't anxious when, or a father when the baby was conceived, you'll actually have different gene expressions, which is crazy. That's the crazy part. It's like, it's like not even, and it's one of these weird things where people don't speak about genetics working this way. We talk about it in terms of natural selection, in terms of just DNA getting transferred. And it's like, yeah, taller giraffes eat more leaves, and those taller giraffes live longer because of that, and they pass on those genes. So you end up with a bunch of tall giraffes, and the ones with short necks die. That's the idea. But it's like, oh, wait, so things that giraffe did in its own life might actually affect its own offspring too. It's like a more stress resilient a giraffe that responded better to stress might actually pass that ability to respond to stress better to its offspring. That's totally
makes evolutionary sense.
No, it actually doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, because it doesn't fit this sort of paradigm of natural selection, which is just like people with better genes reproduce more than people with worse genes. That's the idea of natural selection.
Right.
It's like, yeah, the people not just people, animals, the things that do better, the organisms that do better, live longer, produce more, and you end up with more of them, and the other ones die off. That's the idea. It's like, it's the process that goes on that we're not even aware of when it's happening, because it happens across thousands of millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years. And this is saying, no, you can actually change the gene expression, the genes of your offspring right away based on what you do and what you experience in your own life, which is like, whoa. But it also goes to something, this is what I'm trying to get to this idea, is that we've kind of known these things apart from science for thousands of years anyway.
Yes, we have. That's right.
Like we just
have labels and names for the stuff.
Right.
Now.
We just know things are true, and it's kind of chalked up as like, oh, wives' tales and religion. Oh, they don't really know what they're talking about. Right. And it's like, oh no, you're not going to make a good mother. Why? Because you're freaking out all the time, and you're going to make your baby stressed out. It's like, you can't scientifically prove that.
No, right.
It's like, okay, well, eventually we'll scientifically prove it, but we already know anecdotally it's true.
But
stuff like that.
When we start talking about epigenetics, we start to prove that it's true.
That's my point. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So you end up proving something is scientifically true,
right,
a century later than people actually knew it, and forgot it because we said there's no scientific proof, and we put science above all else.
Right.
So we become a scientific society that hasn't proven the things we already know to be true in a scientific way. We just know it to be true because we're intuitive and we learn from experience. Experientially, we know things are true, but we disregard it because science hasn't proven it. And then science eventually does, and we say, oh, I guess we should rethink this. Like, how about, like, I don't know, eating, and this is still controversial, this is still going on. I think we'll be in a totally different place in 2 or 3 years from now with Kennedy as the head of health. But it's like, animals. Should we be eating animals? Should we be eating animal fat? Should we be eating protein, high protein? No, we need to make sure we're eating enough carbs. That was the idea going back to the 60s or the 70s.
Yeah, right.
It's like, let's have carbs as the mainstay of your diet.
The food pyramid.
And make sure you don't eat too many saturated fats like the tallow and the lard and stuff like that. And now it's like, no, actually, those are good for you. Yeah, the animals that we're supposed to be eating are actually good for you.
Right.
Well, if you ask somebody 200 years ago, are animals good to eat? They would say, yeah, of course, we're supposed to eat them. Of course. Because we didn't have all this science involved yet.
It's interesting because if that is true, that means science can be, the results of what science tells us about genetic transfer can be repaired, can be fixed.
What does that mean?
Well, in other words, let's say a child is born into this world from a highly emotional, angry mother.
Okay.
Let's say. So that child gets born. That kid doesn't come out angry, but it's got the seed within it
Okay.
We'll call that DNA because now we have names for it.
Maybe. And again, this has not been proven scientifically, but we think it's true.
Right.
I mean, you might think it's true.
Right. Now, if that child is born into an environment that has love in it,
okay,
it can actually correct. That child can have a good upbringing.
You would hope so.
So if, let's say you have a...
It's not just mother, by the way, the father. Like the experiment with the rats was the dad was anxious. And the anxious dad made anxious kids.
Right.
Which is even more amazing, honestly, because...
well, you get 50% DNA from each one, right?
Right. But the mother was the one that actually, kept the kids in its belly. So
if you have a child born to a mother, let's say, who's anxious and upset, born into a family, mm-hmm. and the dad is not that way.
Yeah.
That dad, his attitude, let's say, toward the child and toward the mother can actually have an effect that would positively remold the child's behavior and thinking growing up.
Right.
Child rearing.
Okay.
Right.
So you're saying reverse the epigenetics that you inherited.
Yeah, correct it. Make the child, because if you don't want, I don't keep meaning to make the mother angry, but I'm just saying the child is born to an angry mother, could be an angry father too. That kid will never recover from that. That kid will be reared in a
because that's nature plus nurture.
Nature plus nurture. Yeah,
yes.
Correct.
Yes,
that's right. So nurture can have a modifying effect on nature. That's epigenetics, right?
I guess so. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's hard to wrap your head around fully, and it's hard to even know what the current science says about it all.
Yeah.
And we're taking examples that they've actually used, that they've actually produced in a laboratory, right? Like the rats, and kind of using it as an analogy for humans and for spirituality and in ways that has not been proven.
Yeah.
Those ways haven't been proven scientifically. But we're not scientists. So
no, we are not.
And my whole point is that if you're reliant on only science to prove what your worldview is, how you think things work, you're never going to have as full a picture as somebody who relies on their own experiences, their own intuition, as well as, oh, look what they learned.
Right.
Because the thing is, science is disproving itself the whole time. Not real science, like not the literal what is true, but scientific studies. I mean, I can find a scientific study that says one thing and find one that says the opposite,
mm-hmm.
and they conflict. And then you go into the methodology and you find, okay, their methods were different. This person did it this way. These researchers did it that way. That's what the difference is. Things like that. But that doesn't come out in common usage. You don't actually talk about it that way. You talk about it from the perspective that you want to be true.
Right.
It's like, oh, see, they found this, or, oh, see, they found this actually. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, you can change your proclivities.
Yeah.
Right? By living a good life.
Sure.
You can change everything.
Sure.
Eating healthy, getting exercise, being placed in a loving environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I had something I wanted to mention to you. I kind of have bad news for you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how you're going to take this, but it turns out that, did you know that tea is high in fluoride?
No.
It is. There's more fluoride, many times more fluoride, many times, like 5 to 15 times more fluoride in black tea and green tea too, but mostly black tea, than there is in fluorinated drinking water.
Really?
Yeah.
How much? 5 times more?
Each cup of tea that you drink has, and depending on the brand and where it comes from, has anywhere from 1 to 3 milligrams of fluoride in it. Whereas a glass of fluorinated drinking water has like 0.17 or 9 or something like that, less than 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's way less in water.
Way less. So if you eliminate fluoride from your drinking water, which I have done.
Yeah.
You don't drink tap water, I don't think.
No, I don't.
Okay. And if you do that, if you drink tea, you're adding back in fluoride that you thought you were missing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're much more averse to fluoride than me.
I am.
Not that I don't have reason to be. I'm not as passionately against it as you, I suppose.
Right.
And I'm not going to stop drinking tea.
Right.
So, and neither are the English men and English women listening right now, probably.
Well, that brings up the question. So, well, if that's true, there should be literally zero tooth decay in the UK, right? They should all have wonderful teeth.
I will say though, I did notice, because I watch a few British TV shows, or I've seen some anyway, and their teeth on the shows are much less Hollywood-like than American shows.
Right.
So if you look at any shows in America, they'll have these big glowing white smiles, totally fake, by the way. I mean, that's not real. No, this is not dental health. This is just like veneers, really. Veneers and fake teeth. And in England, it looks like it's not as popular, even on celebrities.
Right.
They have more normal teeth. Some of them have horrible teeth, but aside from...
A lot of Americans have horrible teeth.
A lot of Americans do. But aside from that, I'm just talking about normal teeth, because normal teeth on a camera, normal teeth, they don't look great all the time.
Right.
Even the ones that look normal in person.
Yeah.
Because the camera and the lighting does things that change things. And American celebrities have just said, we're not handling this. We're just doing fake teeth. And they just all have lumineers or veneers or whatever they call them.
My dentist told me that he met Frank Sinatra one time.
Yeah.
And he said my dentist is from New Jersey.
Okay.
So was Frank Sinatra. And he said that many years ago, he met Sinatra, and he couldn't believe his teeth. I mean, he looks normal in movies and on TV.
Right.
But in person, it's like, it looked like he took, put index cards in his mouth or something. Like there's just these big, giant, bright white teeth.
They're too white.
They look so unnatural. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're too white.
It looks good on TV.
Looks normal on camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Right. It's crazy.
But we do that. Hollywood does that. Everybody gets veneers and I mean, I do tooth whitening myself even.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm not going to stop drinking tea. I drink a lot of black tea. I really do.
Well, you got to watch that pineal gland.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Because if that's true, there should be zero dental issues in England, right? And they have tooth decay just like anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that it's not only the fluoride. The fluoride really, the effects, they're really getting questioned these days as to the effectiveness of fluoride in preventing tooth decay.
But fluoride is naturally in tea, is what you're saying?
It's naturally in tea. There's a lot of really bad crap in tea too, especially tea from China. It's got a lot of pesticides in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Organic tea is super expensive.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's not
everything
like
organic is
expensive. No, I'm not talking about like with meat. Maybe you'll pay a couple dollars more for organic or grass-fed or whatever. Right. No, the tea is literally like almost, it seems like an order of magnitude high, like 10 times the price. I'm talking like a tea bag goes from, I don't know, 5 cents a bag to like 50 cents a bag or something like that. Ridiculous.
I love tea, but I am more of a coffee drinker.
Sure.
And I only drink organic coffee. Period. End of story. I switched a couple of years ago, and it is more expensive, but it's not to that magnitude.
Yeah, no, tea's crazy. Tea's almost, which makes you think, okay, what are they doing that makes this other tea so cheap? Why is the conventional tea so cheap compared to organic? It's a little suspicious, actually.
Yeah,
because you would hope that when the process is similar enough, that you really just are paying for the certification almost. It's like, yeah, no, don't worry. But when the price difference is so big, it's like, wait, is this stuff even healthy? Like this organic stuff must be totally different.
Right.
Must be from a totally different source. That's kind of weird. But my point is fluoride must naturally be in a lot of things that we eat, right?
It is. I don't know if there's a list of foods and stuff like that. I don't know.
So it's in tea. It's probably in stuff you're eating too.
Probably. But right. I don't want, I think the water where I live is not fluorinated anyway. But I grew up with fluorinated water in New York.
Yeah.
Fluorinated and chlorinated.
Yep.
When you turn on the faucet in New York, you can smell bleach. It smells bleachy.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Absolutely. Yeah, so that can't be good. That chlorine is not good for you either.
No, I mean, you'll die if you drink
bleach.
Chlorine. Yeah, if you drink bleach.
Wait a minute. Wasn't that proposed at one time?
No, it was not.
I know.
No,
I know.
You're talking about Donald Trump, right?
Right.
With bleach. He never said to drink bleach.
No, he never did.
He never did.
No.
But they like to claim he did just because they make a whole bunch of stuff up.
Right.
Did you see the Russiagate stuff?
Yeah, a bit,
So, and everybody kind of knew this, but it was like, everybody knew that it was fake.
Everybody's known since 2016.
No, that's not true. a lot of people thought it was real up until 2019, 2020.
2019,
even.
yeah, but a lot of people did not believe it.
A lot of people didn't, but
I didn't believe it.
Guess what? A lot of people believed it, especially a lot of apolitical people, a lot of people in the middle. They assumed it was true because they said, well, if the FBI is saying it,
right, it must be true.
Then it's probably true.
Unless the FBI is corrupt. So
right, and then it turned out, oh wait, actually the Steele dossier. Why do we use that word dossier? It's like a report, right?
Yeah, right.
A dossier.
A secret dossier
was created, was funded by the Democrat Party.
Right.
It was like, wait, so it was just opposition research? It was like Hillary Clinton's party funded the research that launched an investigation into her political opponent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's obviously wrong and obviously not trustworthy. So now Tulsi Gabbard comes out.
I was going to mention her, yeah.
Yeah, so now she comes out after being DNI, which is Director of National Intelligence, for 6 months.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know what everybody was looking at for the past few years, but based on the documents I see, Tulsi Gabbard, this was orchestrated directly by Obama and Obama's cabinet, and Obama's top officials. They held a meeting where the reports previous to that meeting where the FBI sees no evidence of Russian
I think the entire intelligence community basically said, well, there's nothing here.
They said there's nothing here.
Right. All of a sudden,
Obama holds a meeting, and then they receive not new evidence, but new guidance from the top that says find out how Russia interfered.
Right.
It wasn't like Russia interfered, we know that, let's find out how. It was like Russia didn't interfere, and then all of a sudden, forget about that, just find out how they did.
Right.
It's like, what? And it looks like Obama's almost implicated in this, right?
It looks like it.
I mean, and if
Trump
that's true,
Trump is saying he's got the paperwork on it.
If that's true, that's just straight up treason.
I mean,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I don't know what they're going to do about it.
Well, you think that's what they're setting up now?
I don't know what's going to come of it. I have no idea. It is so obvious, though. It's like you can't, as a sitting president, create a directive to frame your opponent. Right. You framed your opponent. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean,
and you used the government to do it. You can't do that.
The way it's being presented right now is like, okay, we have nothing. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
We have a meeting. Okay, now we're going to find it. And then they do.
Yeah.
And they get all this dossier shows up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the dossier is the evidence that they used. I don't know.
But the dossier was faked.
More will right, but it's fake. More will come out, I suppose, but it doesn't look good right now.
It was Obama and Comey and who's the other guy? Clapper.
Yeah, Clapper, James Clapper, and Brennan was the other one.
Also. Yep. You know, and I mean, it's serious. I mean, this is like Watergate serious, bigger.
Oh, it's bigger than that.
Bigger than
that. Oh, that's way bigger than Watergate.
The thing is, it's already like 9 years, 10 years has passed already.
I know. And the question is, why didn't, it's like if this evidence was so obvious, I mean, and Tulsi Gabbard had it within 6 months, why didn't anybody else?
Right.
For the past 8 years, why did nobody find any of this? It's kind of weird.
That's the evidence for the, that's the deep state.
And speaking of that, I saw this today. Apparently this came out. Let's get it up. Okay. A declassified House Intelligence Committee report that went into all this information on Hillary Clinton that apparently Russia got during the election. And I guess they didn't release it. I assume because I didn't hear or I didn't see any stories about it, but that she was on tranquilizers. She was having psycho-emotional problems.
And who comes up with this?
This is
I can't see it from here. It's too small.
Right. This is from the House Intelligence Committee report that Russia had huge amounts of anti-Clinton dirt. So Russia had dirt on Clinton that it didn't release. And that included the fact that she was on heavy medication. She was having psychological problems. She was freaking out, basically. This was during her campaign, obviously, in 2016. Type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart condition, complaints from others about her health, extraordinarily alarming health conditions. So she was not in a good state. No. And there was those weird things we saw where she was like falling down. And,
she was falling down.
And then they like grab her and throw her in the back of a car.
Looked like she was starting to go into a seizure or something.
And we never heard anything about any of that.
No, it was never looked into. No.
Clearly a health problem.
Yeah.
Clearly, people are like, she's possessed by demons. And I'm not saying she's not possessed by demons, but you look at that and you say, okay, this is a person with a serious health issue, a serious physical health issue. Yeah. And apparently Russia knew all that and didn't do anything about it. So,
right. So they must have wanted her in office.
You would think so.
Maybe.
But it seems like Obama, right now from the evidence that we have, it seems like Obama directed the intelligence community to investigate how Russia helped Trump, even though there was no evidence that they had.
Yeah.
In order to create this story to tear down Trump. Right. Basically.
I don't know. I'm going to start following the story a little bit more closely. From what I was seeing yesterday, I did see the Tulsi Gabbard announcement.
Yeah.
And it's pretty revealing, actually.
I think she's been pretty good.
Yeah, I had a little, I don't know, for a while there, I thought she was...
People were unhappy with her about the Iran thing.
Right, correct.
But I have to tell you, they really used her words against Trump, and it didn't mean what she had actually said.
Right.
They used a quote from her that didn't mean what people wanted it to mean.
Yeah.
Because she said she was talking about evidence that Iran had started up its nuclear program. And she said that they don't currently have any official evidence that they started it up again. But in the same breath, she said, but they do have way more nuclear material than we can possibly fathom they need. Mm. And it's like, yeah, so that's clearly a sign that something is going on.
Right.
And she said that. So that was all together. And people are leaving that part out. They're making it seem like it's her word against Trump, and it's not. They were on the same page with this. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So anyway, we'll see what happens with this. That's probably enough politics for now.
Hey, you remember, I just wanted to bring up, the other day we were talking, or it's last week, I think, we were talking about, I had mentioned the giant, we were talking about turtles.
Yeah.
You remember the giant turtle?
Of course.
That I told you about no, not your turtle. You showed me a turtle. I'm going to show you a turtle.
Not the leatherback or the...
No, not the leatherback.
Archelon? Yeah.
Yeah, so I want you to see the giant turtle that I was talking about on...
Okay.
Go to 58. This goes... There we go.
Whoa. Whoa.
Very realistic, too. Here he comes.
Is that a turtle?
That's a turtle, man.
Oh, that's cool. He's flying like a frisbee.
Yeah.
Why is he spinning so fast?
Of the giant monsters.
Okay, that's enough.
No, I want to watch more. I got to tell you,
that was on TV. That was a TV trailer for this monster movie, and a lot of my friends went to see that. I forgot the name of that thing, Megalotron or something. I forgot, some weird name.
Okay.
And I said, I can't go see. Even when I was like, 13 or 14 years old or whenever that was, all my friends went to the movie theaters to see that. And I said, I'm not paying at that time like 90 cents to go see that. That's just,
yeah.
They loved it.
I have to tell you, that looks better than a lot of CGI I see. So,
I know. It's scary.
See, you know what I don't see there?
Yeah.
I don't see, I guess, are they called animators? The people do, or puppeteers? I don't know what
those
were.
Puppets.
Those were puppets, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see.
That's all Japanese stuff.
I can't tell from what I watched that they're like trying to brag about their abilities through the work versus CGI. There's so many things in movies that aren't necessary or don't actually belong, but you could almost tell that the animator, the graphic designers were like, this is cool. Like, I'm going to show what I can do.
Right.
And it doesn't actually belong in a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's overkill.
It's overkill. It's like, you're just showing me your abilities. You're not showing me an actual story at that
that happens with a lot of creatives in business, even like in advertising. Okay. It's like they come up with a lot of stuff like, oh, that's so clever.
Right.
Well, what are you selling?
Right.
Oh, I forgot, but I laughed.
The
famous one is the meatball one. You remember, I've told you about that, right?
Yeah.
Mamma Mia, that it won all kinds of awards and everything. I think in the 70s.
What is it?
Mamma Mia, that's some spicy meatball.
And this is an advertisement?
It's an advertisement.
Okay.
And the guy's eating the meatballs. So
a commercial.
It's a commercial,
yes.
TV commercial. And there's this guy sitting. He's obviously, it looks like maybe an immigrant couple or something, Italian immigrants. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting, and the wife comes and places a plate in front of him, and he eats the meatball. He goes, Mamma Mia, that's some spicy meatball.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was so funny. That commercial was so funny.
Okay.
What are they selling? It's like, oh, I guess... ragu sauce or something,
right?
Or ranzoni, or I don't know, whatever.
Something.
Yeah, no, it was Alka-Seltzer. But nobody knew what the product was.
Guy at Heartburn.
guy had heartburn. Yeah. So the ad won all kinds of awards in the advertising industry.
That's
Madison
amazing.
Avenue, put these people up on pedestals, and they go, yeah, look what we did. Look what we did. The sales plummeted.
That's weird.
The sales for Alka-Seltzer, I believe, it didn't go up. I know that. I think they actually might have gone down during that campaign.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And that's just people who are creative, and they figure out how to write good ads and produce good ads and write good jokes, and write nice scripts, and to shoot stuff really realistically. And it's supposed to sell product. It doesn't. All it does is, gain them applause.
Does he use Alka-Seltzer in the commercial?
No.
He doesn't. He doesn't like.
He's
not like.
Here's the funny thing.
Get me a glass of the Alka-Seltzer.
No. What do you make fun of Italians?
Yes, I am. Of course, I'm making fun of Italians.
No, I can't make fun of Italians.
No, you can't. I'm Italian, so I get to make fun of.
Well,
Italians.
I'm not. So.
Italians don't care if you make fun of. Italians don't care.
Irishmen don't care.
Irish don't care.
No.
English don't care.
No.
Talking about the teeth before. Scottish don't care. I actually don't think the people from the countries that you're told not to make fun of actually care.
Right.
I don't think they care because they make fun of us all the time.
Right.
By the way. Right. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, the people in this country that you are not allowed to make fun of.
Yeah.
They're told.
They're told to care about it.
To care about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think I have a feeling many of them don't.
I don't think many of I knew. I've known people of all races who think it's hysterical when you make fun of their country or their ethnicity.
Yeah,
they make
do.
fun of yours,
right?
And it's just going back and forth.
Or we make fun of each other's.
Yeah, you make fun of each other's
right.
to a degree, and it's funny. I mean, that's how guys become friends. Actually, sometimes.
Right.
I mean, my friend group. I have a friend group. It's like Italian, Polish, little Jewish, some Irish, and it's like just constant jokes back and forth with each other about our own ethnicities and how they hinder or help us or stuff like that.
Right.
It's just jokes. It's just funny.
One of the things, when I speak to people from other countries that they don't get about Americans is that it's important to us to know, like when you meet somebody, you say, what are you?
Yeah.
And like if you go to Wikipedia and find out what nationality is this person, they're American. Well,
right.
No, they're not American. Well, of course they're Americans. They're American citizens. But what is their heritage? What is their background? They don't want you to focus on that.
Right.
So they kind of steer you away from it.
Yeah.
But as Americans, that's important to us.
That is considered a microaggression.
Right. Exactly.
You're not supposed to ask
Microaggression.
what they are.
It's like a girl brings a guy home to meet her parents. Maybe a fiance. Well, this is my fiance. Well, they sit at the dinner table. And, what's her background? What are you? What is he? Well, he's Italian. But you're not allowed to say that. Well, you can say it because Italians don't care. But people...
I think your parents cared when you said she's Italian.
They did.
They didn't like it,
Yeah, they wanted to know. Yeah. They said, well, what is she? I said, well, she's Sicilian. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have any Italians in our family. Okay. And little Russian. Okay. And Hungarian. And my mother, what my mother said?
What?
Oh my God, gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
That's funny.
That was the name of a popular song at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
But they came to love each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But we're proud of our mixed heritage. We're proud of our melting pot nationality here in this country.
Sure.
And
yeah, that's important. Other countries, I don't think they have that.
No.
And that's why they get annoyed when people in America say they're Italian.
Yeah, right.
Or Irish.
Right.
They like hate Americans who say they're these things.
Yeah.
Which is dumb because it's like, hello, we're carrying your culture to lands far away. You should be appreciating this.
So I am 100% Irish, but it's like a mix between Scottish and English and Irish. It's like 80% Irish.
Yeah.
And
something like that.
I say basically, I'm Irish.
Right. Well, that's how Americans say their ethnicity. That's how they do it.
But if I go to Ireland, they're not going to look at me as being Irish.
Right.
Right. So
right. I guess if you were to become an Irish citizen, which you could,
I can. Yeah.
I think then you
could
just say you're Irish.
I could have a dual citizenship.
Right. Right. Which is a question altogether. It's like,
well,
why do we have dual citizenships?
Well, then I can travel all through Europe without passport.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was wondering if Alka-Seltzer was even in the commercial. But yeah, I mean, lots of things get attention and they don't actually direct your attention toward what it should go to.
Right.
But now I think things are different now with the internet. It's like you're just trying to mass as much attention as possible.
Right.
I think that's what you do now because a lot of people aren't even purchasing ads. They're just making viral videos. They're just making lots of videos, right?
Right.
I mean, that's different than how advertising used to be.
Well, it's all social media now.
Yep.
All the advertising is on social media.
Right. And even then you're relying on an algorithm to deliver your stuff to the right people.
Yeah, you have to get the algorithm to fall in love with you.
And some websites I just don't trust at all. I just don't trust them. I don't trust Facebook at all.
I mean, I'm on TikTok. I don't trust TikTok.
Yeah, but you got to be there.
It's it's clearly spyware.
You got to be there.
Hopefully that'll change. Hopefully
it might. I wonder if that purchase is going to happen.
Yeah.
They think so.
You know, I mean, even like, I don't know, maybe not 20 years ago, but like 10, 15 years ago, there would be people, friends of mine, I would say, you know, well, friend me on Facebook. And they're, well, I'm not on Facebook. I don't do social media. I'm protecting my privacy.
Sure.
And I'm like, do you really think that that's going to prevent anyone from learning anything they want about you?
Right.
I mean, I'm not an internet person. This is people in my generation, not your generation.
Yeah.
My generation, I mean, I didn't care. I've been all over social media.
Well, people use Tor for internet browsing. TOR.
Right.
I don't know how it works.
It's encrypted, is it? Or?
I forget, honestly. Right. I looked it up once or twice and I don't remember. I've had it explained to me. But I had a friend who was trying to set up Tor, and then another guy was like, yeah, you're going to be the only one using Tor in your entire neighborhood. Your boomer neighbors are not using Tor.
Right.
So if anybody wanted to know what you were doing,
right,
they'd say, oh, look, it's the guy who uses Tor. It's the one guy using Tor.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it still has benefits maybe, but the point is you're not as secure as you want to be. Even when you take steps to feel secure, it doesn't actually prevent people from learning anything about it.
If you own a phone, you're not secure. If you own a laptop, you're not secure.
Right. It's like you have a camera on the back of your phone.
Right. My car is hooked up to a car company. They know where I go. They know how fast I drive.
Yeah, they could probably reach you if they needed to. Like, hello, we've detected this car is stolen. Don't they have stuff like that? Like, what is it, All-Star or something like that? That was one of those.
Yeah.
Whatever. One of those companies does
Star.
it. Yeah, I mean, they have connection to your car.
Well, I mean, by now we foresee a day where, you're going to get a bill at the end of the month, and it's going to say, here's where you exceeded the speed limit. Here's the time. Here's the place.
I think that's how it works in other countries.
Here's your bill.
Yeah.
And then one step beyond that, your bank account has been dinged. You get dinged. I
don't know about the bank account part. I'm pretty sure that's how it works in places like Australia and the UK.
They have absolutely no freedom.
You can't go over the speed limit. You're just going to get fined. It's like, yeah, we caught you. We have a camera. We know. Which what you're saying, I think, is that like
you don't even need a camera.
Your car's going to know.
Your car's going to know, over the speed limit. And it's going to turn you in.
I mean, Google knows how much I speed because I use Google Maps to go places.
Right. Exactly.
They know.
Yeah, I remember.
In fact, it tells me when I'm going over the speed limit.
When I brought my car in, when I would leave my car in for service at the dealer, they would give me a loaner car.
Yeah.
And I remember driving and like, maybe went over the speed limit. I have a heavy foot. And going over, and I remember thinking, oh my God, this is not my car. This is their car. They might have an alarm going off.
Yeah.
Because I can set an alarm here to know when I've exceeded the speed limit, right?
You can.
Yeah.
You can.
And I can even go online and see when it was. Well, if I can, so can they.
Yep.
So when I go to pick up my car, return the loaner car, I say, by the way, up on 495 going through Marlborough, Massachusetts, you were going 84 miles an hour. That's not, what are they going to do?
Yeah, right.
I mean, they would have to know. Or you get a phone call. Hey, this is you're speeding right now.
Yeah.
Wait, why am I doing this?
Mr. Jones, you took your loaner car to Zachary's 3 times in the past week.
Zachary's.
That was a strip club.
Yeah, that's
on
long
the Cape.
Closed. Yeah, that was here when I first moved here. That was up there.
That was there for a while. I mean, it just closed within the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years maybe.
Yeah, I would drive past the place. I worked
it's apartments now. It's affordable housing now.
I drove past not that long ago. It must be very affordable.
It looks nasty.
It looks really nasty. It looks like some sort of encampment or something.
Yeah, it kind of does.
I remember back then I was working at I worked at a rehab for a while here, one of the local rehabs.
Yeah,
it's part of a whole system, and we used to get a lot of strippers in there.
Okay,
and a lot of drug addicts.
You would bring them in?
No.
Oh,
they would show up.
Okay,
they would show up, and we would counsel them, and I would talk to them. They had some interesting stories,
okay.
but they were all from this Zachary's place. Yeah, a lot of heroin addicts. So, I am, for one, am glad that it's closed down. We don't need that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of heroin, or speaking of drug addicts, go to
excellent
61.
I'm looking forward to whatever this is going to be.
Yeah, this is Hunter Biden from his interview.
Yeah, right. Okay, we're getting political again, I guess.
Not really.
Carbonate and water and heat. Literally, that's it.
And those things are pretty much free if you go to like a science store.
He's talking about crack.
Free. You can go to your neighborhood convenience store and just get. Anyway, I don't want to tell people how to make crack cocaine, but it literally is a mayonnaise jar, cocaine, and baking soda.
How different is the experience?
It's vastly, vastly different. And like for real, I feel really reluctant to kind of have some euphoric discussion. I know you're not asking me to do that, but have some euphoric discussion about crack cocaine.
I think this might be kind of the opposite here.
Okay, no, it's the exact opposite. I'm saying I don't want to have the experience of some euphoric recall. That's how powerful crack cocaine is. Does crack cocaine make you act any differently? No. Is it safer than alcohol? Probably. People think of crack as being dirty. It's the exact opposite. When you make crack, what you're doing is you're burning off all the impurities
safer
so that it binds with the sodium bicarbonate, which makes it smokable. That's all. You know, all of these actors and, you know, people in the past that talked about
all right, that's enough.
They had
that's
a problem
enough.
with cocaine
we don't want to
and freebasing.
You know, so alcohol is better. No, crack is better than alcohol.
You said crack is safer than alcohol
safer
or
than
something?
alcohol. Well, here's the thing. Statistically speaking, alcohol probably kills more people than crack does.
Yeah, but it's more prevalent.
But I think he's talking. The thing is, an alcoholic and a drug addict are both the same thing.
According to who?
According to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because the cause is the same. So one is not worse than the other. Spiritually, certainly not. Okay. But if you look at statistics, there are more people on crack aren't, well, maybe they are, I don't know, but alcohol kills more people on the road, let's say, than crack does, because when you smoke crack, you can't get in your car and drive. You basically just, you're just high and hanging out in your house and putting up curtains and peeking out the windows because you're so paranoid.
He doesn't come across like a recovered addict.
No, he's not. And the one thing that I want to bring up with him is the way he's talking. It's clear that he's not over his addiction.
No.
And he knows it.
And he knows
he's like, well, I don't want to. He's basically saying he doesn't want to talk about it because it'll trigger him.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've met a lot of recovered people.
Right.
I just have.
Yeah.
And a lot of them sound very at peace with that. Maybe they have other things going on, but they're like, no, like I don't drink anymore. That's it.
Right.
They're not like, oh no, I can't talk about it. I can't, they're not on the edge of their seat, like almost describing it like a.
Well, there are people that are like that,
like a boogeyman,
who are abstinent and they still have a problem.
Yeah,
with it.
Sure. Yeah. So like a dry drunk, somebody. It's almost like, are you hiding the fact that you're jonesing a bit right now? You're just like talking about this. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
He's not over his addiction. I
don't think so.
Here's the thing: he's giving rhetoric that he's been told. I mean, I'm sure he's had the brightest minds of addiction tending to him during these times. It's unlimited funds, right? So he can see and
unlimited funds from where?
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
so he's been rehabbed fully. He's got a head full of stuff, and they're telling him, "You'll get triggered. You'll get triggered. Don't talk about it."
Yeah.
You know, that's the psychology here. There's no recovery.
Right.
There's no recovery.
They're treating it, and they treat mental illnesses like this too now. It's like, here's this thing you have. It's just how you are.
Yeah.
And you have to take extreme measures to avoid just going off the deep end.
Well, that's the whole, right. So that's
how they don't ever like, oh yeah, you'll get better and you'll be normal like everybody else. They don't bring you to that
You will
point.
never hear him or the people that counsel him say that you're recovered from it.
Yeah.
Because they're never recovered from it, according to them. Because there is no recovery.
Wow.
If they say, I'm recovering, and you can recover from that. And you can talk about it without getting triggered. You can, as an alcoholic who's a recovered alcoholic, can walk into a bar and not even be tempted to have a drink.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I can't picture a recovered. So I can't picture a situation where a recovered crack addict would walk into a crack den for any good reason and say, I'm immune.
Yeah.
You know, what's he doing there?
Right.
But, people because, alcohol has been socially acceptable. Right.
I can think of a situation where somebody recovered from a crack addiction walks into a crack den.
Right.
If he's dealing with helping crack addicts.
Yeah.
That could happen. 100%.
It can. It doesn't happen, though. It doesn't happen often.
No, but it could happen.
I can't think of any instances. It probably does, but I can't think of any. And I've worked with a lot of addicts. But it probably does.
Yeah. I'm talking about people like who have recovered who help other people.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yeah. I know, but they generally don't go into crack. You know,
I would imagine they generally don't. I'm just saying I could imagine a circumstance where they did, where it had to happen. Maybe you're rescuing somebody, maybe you're picking somebody up, maybe you're, who knows what it is.
Right.
And if that person is experiencing a level of weakness where they're almost giving into it, they're not in a place to be helping that person recover.
Correct.
Either.
I've had situations myself where I've walked into an apartment or a hotel room, stuff like that, where an alcoholic has been hiding out and drinking all the time, and it's usually a very messy place and a very smelly place. And that happens all the time if you're working with alcoholics and trying to help them. But I don't hear of that happening with crack addicts. Okay. Maybe it does, but
I was just supposing.
No. Maybe it does. I don't have that much experience with it, actually.
Yeah. And there's Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse, right?
I said her name wrong before. Yeah. Amy Weinstein. I'm thinking Eric Weinstein. No, Amy Winehouse, who had an incredible voice. Was she a crack addict?
I don't think so.
I don't know. They put her picture there.
I know she was
an alcoholic, right?
Definitely an alcoholic. I don't know enough about the history. I do remember. Yeah, she was an alcoholic.
Her voice is so great. Women with voices that deep who can sing.
Yeah,
it's really good, really amazing.
Right.
Her. What's another one? Shirley Bassey. She's another one. Right. Very deep voice.
Right.
What do you call that voice? It's
in a woman.
Yeah. It like as a vocal range. It's because it's not obviously
like
not soprano. I don't know if you would call it baritone. It's almost honestly a baritone. It's or a tenor. It's almost a tenor. It's not alto. Is it like meso alto? It might be meso alto. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
That's a meso alto. My speech therapist, I get speech therapy. My speech therapist says I'm a baritone.
Oh, contralto. That might be it.
Contralto. Okay,
yeah, but they have these different ranges. It's like when you're below an alto.
That makes sense.
You're below an
alto.
I'm
below alto. Yeah. She says I'm a baritone. So,
who?
My speech therapist.
Yep, I think I'm a baritone too.
You think so too? You sound very baritone-y.
Thank you. I have quite a range. Even when I'm speaking, I have a range. I know I'll go down. And then also I'm up here and I'm complaining.
I know. I noticed that too. And I do that too. I was watching myself on a video the other day, and I know why was I talking so high? I don't know.
I don't know, but I can only imagine it's because I did musical theater and then I did choir in high school.
Right.
And I sang depending on where they needed me. I could do tenor or bass depending on where the director wanted me. So I just
when I was very young, I was in the choir.
You were in a Catholic choir.
Catholic church choir boy.
Yep. And was that connected to the school directly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It was St. Raymond's Church.
It was a parish.
Which is your high school.
It was a parish.
Right.
Yeah. And the music director there also ran the choir in the church and all that. And we were like famous, nationally famous. We were really good.
Yeah.
We were really good. And we made a record and everything. It was like really cool. But I remember one time, and I was a soprano.
Yeah.
Now we're talking like,
you were young.
1968. I'm like in the 6th grade or something.
Right.
And my voice was starting to change, but I wanted it to change faster than it was. And I felt embarrassed to be a soprano. So I asked if I could be we had alto section and soprano section that we used to rehearse together. And I said, I want to join. I want to be an alto. And he wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let me do it. And so I quit the choir.
Oh.
I quit the choir and I became an altar boy.
Great.
And then, so I became an altar boy. That didn't work out. The altar boy director there was a total pedo, total pedophile.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I'll talk about that some other time.
Oh, no.
He never got me, by the way.
Good.
Yeah, no, he never got me.
Good.
Yeah, but he was a problem. He got kicked out of the.
Did he get kicked out, or was he just like moved around?
I think he was. No, he wasn't kicked. He wasn't removed. I don't think they defrocked him.
Oh,
I mean, they moved him around. They moved him to Texas.
That's the major complaint, because the thing is there are plenty of pedophiles in the public school system too. by the way. And that's the complaint is like, hey, it's not fair. You're concentrating on Catholics, but it happens everywhere.
Right.
And I think that's probably true to a degree. I don't know if one rate is higher than the other, really. Right. I don't know if anybody knows. But when you just move these people around,
right.
when you don't defrock them and make an example out of them and say, no, these are bad people, and they are, not only are they defrocked as a priest, but it's like, you know, they're persona non grata, like don't even come around anymore.
Right.
Or if you do, it better be in a while, and we better see some serious.
No, it should be never.
Well, it should be never. Well, it should be never in that they should go to jail.
Unless you get rehab, they should go to jail. This guy, I didn't even. I just meant from
a Christian perspective. Of course, they still need to have the chance to be forgiven and you know, come to peace.
Of course.
But yeah, no, there needs to be punishment.
No, this guy
wasn't serious punishment.
I had no idea what happened to this guy, and then when I was writing my first book, I did a little research and I found some New York Times articles about him and stuff. And of Anthony Emerito, Father Emerito, that was his name.
Yeah.
And it's no secret. And he basically was just moved around from one part of the country to the other, and they never got him. And I don't know what happened to him since then. I don't follow up on it.
Right.
But he may be dead by now. He was.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's probably dead by now.
He might be.
If he was a full-grown man when you were in 6th grade.
He was a grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Adding ass to the end of adjectives has become quite the popular phraseology. Yeah. I don't know.
He was a grown-ass priest.
I'm going to go eat a big-ass lunch. I'm hungry.
That's not new. That's old.
No, I know.
Yeah. All right.
That's some tasty-ass food.
David Letterman used to have big-ass ham.
Okay.
Yeah, on his show, whatever that was.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Are we done?
Let me just say, you brought up David Letterman.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Colbert debacle. He's getting kicked off his show now, right?
Sure.
That's the Late Show?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And it's so amazing when you look at the numbers, how much money the show was losing. It was like losing $40 million a year, something crazy like that.
Nobody's watching it.
And it's like, it was essentially just burning money on a propaganda machine.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I don't listen. I mean, literally, it might as well be like a media blackout. Personally, I don't listen to a thing that guy says. Nothing. But I was hearing some clips because now he's in the news and you hear he's canceled. And I'm listening to things he's saying. It's not even jokes.
No, they're not.
It's just like very insulting remarks. It's crazy.
Total political propaganda.
It's not humor at all. There's no jokes.
No, there's nothing.
There were no jokes. It was literally just name calling.
Right.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
When Trump calls people names, it's usually funny.
Right.
He was just being mean. It was just like a professional mean person.
They often make the comparison to like Johnny Carson, you know, back in the day. Of course. And I saw an interview with Johnny Carson one time, and he was asked that, why don't you do a lot more political stuff? And he took it very seriously. He said, because once you start talking about political stuff and you start pushing politics, you start to think that you're more important than you are.
Yeah.
You know, when it goes to your head. And that's right. That's right. And then people will take advantage of that and they will use you for that. And that guy, Colbert, he's being used. And he is used.
Right. And he's also getting paid a lot. I mean, it's like something like $15 million a year.
Money talks.
That's great. I can't even imagine. Like, that's not like how much your company makes.
Right.
That's your own income.
Right.
Is $15 million.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy.
It's worth it to them.
I guess it's worth it to somebody.
Well, after a while, it's not worth it anymore because if you only have 1 million people watching you every night.
Oh, well, that's the other thing. Okay. The average age. Do you know what it is for his show?
For his show, no.
When he took over, it was, do you want to take a guess or no?
Oh my God. No, I don't know.
Okay. When he took over, it was 60.
Really?
Okay.
That's crazy. Yeah.
The average, why? You think it's high or low?
Yeah. No, I believe it, but I'm like, okay, people are watching him at that age. Okay. Sounds old.
The average age now is 68.
What? I thought you were going to tell me it went down.
No, it is essentially a 70-year-old person is the average viewer of that show.
Yeah.
Which already sounds insane. Right? It's like, you have like a hip, popular late night show.
Right. And
the average age is like nursing home age, basically.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to advertise to sell them? False teeth and prednisone?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we complain about the Newsmax commercials.
Right. Oh, God.
Which are, they're hard to watch.
I don't want to get into it.
Anyway,
well, that's a future
The average age is basically 70. But think about this. Usually when you're talking about averages, you're talking about a normal distribution.
Right.
Not all the time, but which means that for any amount of people to the left of the average, you have the same amount of people to the right. Okay. But in this case, you can't have that because 70 is near death. It just is.
Come on.
I know you don't like hearing that. But relative to a 40-year-old, to a 50-year-old,
average lifespans.
When you're talking 70,
right?
Okay, you don't, for every like 40-year-old watching, which is 30 years younger, you don't have people 30 years older than 70.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have 100-year-olds watching. There aren't any. But you do have some 50-year-olds watching, and you do have some 40-year-olds watching. You have some 30-year-olds watching. Right. Which means that the number of people, just to make the average 70, the number of people in their 70s and 80s watching is super high.
Right.
Like, that's where the concentration of people are. They're all over 70 and 80. And then you got a few people who are going to be in their 20s and 30s and 40s watching. But you have this huge, basically senior citizen population watching.
It's not that profitable.
You have a bunch of 80-year-olds watching your show. That's what I'm saying.
Are we done?
Okay, we're done.
We're done.
All right, I guess we're good for today.
Okay, good.
All right, goodbye.
Bye.